We start off, we're 30 minutes. We start off with an opening statement that's a couple of minutes, 1 or 2, whatever you'd like to say. Then I have a list of 5 prepared questions on a sheet of paper that I will be asking for our union, for the group, devised by our union. And then we open it up to questions from the floor that will be submitted anonymously on index cards. And then finally comes a 3-minute closing statement, whatever you'd like to say. So recorders, are you ready here? And we'll do a 3, 2, 1. Here comes the opening statement. This is Ken Glenn. Make it welcome, please.
A little intimidating right off the bat here, but usually I'm not a professional speaker and all that, so hopefully you guys will bear with me. So my name's Ken Glenn. I've lived in the area for approximately 45 years, which is kind of weird. I've lived in actually Artesia, Norwalk, Bellflower, and Cerritos. The last 30 plus years has been all Bellflower area. I went to school here in the 70s, and I bet some of you were probably not even born yet, but so I'm a former student. My wife went here, graduated. She went into physical therapy from here. And we have a lot of ties and roots in the immediate area. And so I got a call from Mr. John Paul Dreher to ask if I'd consider running. So I said, you know, I thought about it, and I said, yeah, because I'd like to try to, you know, help out wherever I could and whatever I can pass on. And I pride myself, I worked with the city of Bellflower, my water commissioner, I'm the chairman over there. And how that came about, the city was just kind of bending us over and reaming us. Our bills went from $28 a month to $200 a month. And I decided to do something about it. So after fighting with them and just being at odds and, you know, just couldn't get any worse, after 6 to 7 years, we've got our rates down. As of last night, I'm getting them to sell the company because the city should not be in the water profit business, bending people over and charging senior citizens that are on Social Security that can't afford it. So my point of bringing that up is I went from fighting with the city that we've worked in and carved out some good relationships and working hand in hand with the city. So I pride myself at trying to get something done and working with people and listening to both sides of the fence. So let's see, what else can I say there? So anyway, that's kind of who I am and what I'm at. So
thank you. Here comes question number 1. Please describe your role as a Cerritos College trustee compared to that of the college superintendent president.
From what I gather, I'm not coming back from a professional background stuff on all the lingo that you guys have here, but I see myself as a trustee just trying to work with all the staff and treat them with respect, the employees and the students. And I try to group together, everybody together, and want to work with them and listen to them. And I guess the superintendents probably would be more of the boss people and all that, from what I know. If I sound stupid, I'm sorry, but as far as a trustee, that, you know, like I said, all I can see is just jump in and try to work with everybody and try to bring people together and do what's the best and most fair.
Thank you. Question number 2. How would you relate to the Cerritos College Faculty Federation if you are elected?
I would like to meet with them as soon as possible. I would like to work arm in arm with them. I understand that you guys have had some problems with the contract, and, you know, to go that long, from my understanding, just to put it bluntly, is ridiculous. I don't know how somebody could be motivated to go to work and teach students, whether they're 1st, 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd, because I would be having a problem with that, you know, and I don't think if you have a fair contract and all that, how you could go to work and it would reflect. And hopefully it hasn't reflected, you know, I give you guys credit for working that long without something. I understand you might have something in the works now, but if you don't and it didn't work out, I would love to jump in and do whatever I could. Because I think, you know, I don't want to sound corny here, but a happy teacher, that's just the way it goes. I can't see when you go to work and you're not getting what you want, how you can just be happy every day and be motivated. And hopefully you guys are, but I can be in the background knowing that you may not. You know, it's just the way it is, because out in the private business world, if you're not getting treated fairly and they're not taking care of you, you're not going to give it 100% your all. And you can't really fault somebody for that. So if you guys haven't reached a thing, I'd love, if I got this position, I'd love to jump in and do everything possible I'm a former Teamster, by the way, and so. So I've worked in unions before, and so I know how it goes. So.
Question number 3. Under what circumstances do you believe it is important for you to consult with the CCFF, that's our Cerritos College Faculty Federation, before making a decision as a trustee?
Depends on how much you're allowed to, but you know, if there's nothing against it, I don't see why I couldn't talk with you guys all the time or every time as needed, because like I say, I would learn a lot from you guys, and you know, and work arm in arm that way. So.
Okay. Question number 4. The relationship between the CCFF and the district has been strained over the last year due to a protracted negotiation process. How would you work to improve this relationship?
I don't know if you guys would be allowed to get together on a off-campus basis where you could just go, I'm not gonna say the word go have a beer, but go have a beer where you see what the problems are and try to iron out the differences, and maybe just listening to somebody for 5 minutes might sound corny, but you know, what would it take, and what's the main issue, or is there something there that's just really preventing people to getting together and agreeing upon things and, you know, working that way. But kind of with the city council, that we were at each other's throat, and kind of we just had a off night out, that everything was off the record, and went and had a beer. You don't have to have a beer, you can have a soda, by the way. And just, you know, what is it gonna take for us to work together, because ultimately the ones that are gonna suffer is gonna be the morale, the employees, and the students somewhere down the road. It seems like they would be getting affected by that, so.
Thank you. By the way, you're allowed to take out only 3 beers
Okay.
for 3 board members.
Okay, well, thank you.
Maximum. Number 5, why should the CCFF endorse you?
Okay, I feel I'm a local area, I've been there, not getting a political end, I'm the only Democrat in my district that's kind of running for my position. I'm proud of that. I was a Obama delegate, and you know, I'm not afraid to say I'm a Democrat. I'm proud that our party wants to bring everybody together, nationality, religion, sex, whatever it is, and I would work hard for you guys, and I'll try to listen to everybody fairly, and don't form opinions coming into something and be against somebody or whatever. So I would, you know, do whatever it would take. I'm, like I say, 44, 45 years in the area. I went to school here. I plan on staying in the area. I plan on going nowhere. I'm down the street. I can almost hit you guys with a rock from here. So I walk my dog over here all the time. I don't know if that's allowed or not, by the way. If there's any campus police, I apologize. I pick up the poop, don't worry. I carry the bags. And
Thank you very much. Mr. Glenn, we now take questions from the floor. I have some here if you, if there are others that want to send them over. People are writing to you right now. Here they come. And if you've answered these already, I think you just answered this one. But it says, how long have you lived in this Cerritos College district?
44, 45 years, so.
Next one, Ken Glenn, please tell us about your teachers here at Cerritos College and your memories of those teachers.
Tony Austin, a funny story before, years ago. Is that good or bad? I got one. Very, very good guy. Helped me a lot and got me actually a job, so I just made a phone call. I was taking electronics, but then I ran into this guy over here, right at this little snack bar over here. And he says, you know, we're gonna have robotics. What the hell is that? He said, robotics. So I thought it was, you know, the robot movies. And this is before it was ever out. You ask any kid or anybody now, robotics, everybody knows what they are, what they do, and all that. But this isn't a Stone Age. And I thought, you know, I thought it was crazy. But he talked me into it, and it was actually life-changing, because I did the jobs I did for the next years all involved that stuff there, and it really came in handy. Still have it there, and he's the one of the most that I can remember. I had business law class teachers here. They're very helpful. And one funny 2-second story there was, I was dating this real cute girl at the time, and I was sitting in the business law class, and I went out. That's when we had payphones. They were not cell phones, by the way, then. So I call her up, and she's at home, and she goes, oh, I gotta go get some money to pay this guy at the gas station. I go, what the hell are you talking about? She goes, I went in just to put air in the tire, and this guy wants like $25. So the business law teacher standing behind me, kind of hearing everything going on, he goes, hey, come here. He says, just tell her to go over there and write him a check, and then tell him if he's gonna cash it and all that. Basically, he talked, the story went that, he said, you know, don't pay it, but basically, he got her out of paying it, but this guy was trying to rip off this girl for $25, but this was the level that teachers kind of eavesdrop and help you out and all that, and it was a big thing, because $25 in the 70s was a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now it's lunch, but that'd help me with a girl too, by the way.
Next question, what would your primary goals be for the first 2 years if you are elected?
Okay, that I studied up a little bit on, hopefully there. Okay, let's see if I got anything that would cover that there. Okay, like I say, just was at a meeting the other night, and the rumor was you guys may have a tentative agreement, you may not, but I would like to jump in hands-on if you are not, do everything we could do on that. It was brought up that it wouldn't hurt to have extra money for the campus and all that. And I have kind of an ideal on that. Lately, I've been going to San Juan Capistrano every week, and there's a concert series there at the Mission, and they have these groups that are not the real groups, but they're the look-alike, sound-alikes, and they raise money for that, and the school that's on down there, and they're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, about 25 years back, some guy named Kenny Rogers, if you never heard of him, he had, I know you guys have a concert series here in the theater, but this was the outside of the stadium, and I would see why we couldn't utilize that and get together with some artists and all that, and then whatever the board, trustees, or whoever decides what to do with the revenue. But I think you got a moneymaker sitting right there. When he came to the thing there was people out in the parking lot on their cars sitting on tailgates to go to the concert. I think there's a draw, and I think they're missing a big opportunity for making some extra money for that. And along the same line, if some of the schools in my area now, they're renting out the rooms for you know, different things, different groups, mainly church groups and all that. So if there was a revenue problem, I'm not the expert here, but it sounds like we could always use more revenue. I would be really good on that. Not getting a political in, but I've done a lot of fundraising in the past and organizing and done stuff on that level there. So I've got a lot of experience on that in there, and you know, if there was a shortage and that we could put money in to alleviate that, I think that's a very good source of income to do, so.
Thank you. This one says, what are your views on sabbatical leaves in higher education?
Totally for it. I'm in for in the real world too, that I think everybody should have that. You recharge your batteries, get to bond with some of your workers there. I think it's a must. I think it should actually be required. I think it's gonna get everybody's, they're gonna feel better and all that. I've run some companies in the past, and we've had a couple where we go 2 or 3 days in Palm Springs, and I'll tell you what, everybody comes back to work, they're a lot happier. I think the morale goes through the roof. So.
Question, as a new trustee, what would you do to educate yourself about the college and your job as a trustee?
First thing I would do is ask all the other trustees or former ones or whoever I can talk to if they have any material, anything I can read up on, any other things I can go to, any other events. When I took over on the Water Commission, I was kind of a rookie, and they started talking about this CPB bond and this and that, and I was like, I went home, I camped out on the computer, didn't sleep for a week, then I came back, and it was funny, I knew almost as much as the financial director, because I will apply myself, and I just go find out what I need to find out. And then in the next meeting, when they were trying to slip something past me, I go, whoa, slow down here, you can't do that, you can't do this, that, and the guy, like, well, you're a rookie and you don't know that. So, well, let's see, page 4, paragraph 2, I did my homework, so I will apply myself and use the experience of all the other people that are around me. Yeah, so.
The next one, as a board member, are you a team player or a lone wolf for the students and faculty?
I think I've answered that, but team player all together, because I think that's the only way we get things done, and we can find out who's got a bitch, a gripe, and what we can do to work on that. You can't please 100% of the people, but you know, if we can get 99.9, hey, that's good.
That's optimistic.
I try for optimism there. Positivity is over.
The same question we have heard before this afternoon. Why should the college maintain a reserve far in excess of the recommended 5%? What is that money for, if not to provide programs to our students and community?
Good question there. I think if you have a certain amount, you have to have in there a rainy day fund or whatever you want to call it, but above that, amount, if you guys are needing the raises or whatever, I think it should be utilized. It's in there, but it's gotta be in there for a reason to be used. You might have some smaller emergency fund thing, but I don't know if you have the thing to do an audit immediately and find out what's in there, but if it's in there, I say use it, so.
And this one is the last one. It may have already been answered, but I'll leave it to you. Besides being a member, how active were you in union work?
I was in there, I went to the meetings, basically when they would negotiate the shop steward. Since he was the guy that had all the seniority, I wanted to do that desperately, because I learned a lot. He had his own little team, so I worked with him in on that, and then we would go, besides that, if we had anything local in the area, blood drives, the Teamsters would jump in. We did a lot of community stuff. I don't know if that's along the same question, but besides that, just go and pay your dues and that's it. I wasn't that way. I wanted to find out what I'm paying my dues for, where they're going and what I could do. And then there was a division of the Teamsters there that would try to mentor people. We'd go to the local areas where, cause this was in Southgate, and at the time in the middle '70s, late '70s, there was actually a shortage of work, so we'd go and we'd try to recruit people and people in the community. So, I worked arm in arm on that, and I was kind of proud of that, because, I don't know if you guys knew, but $20, $30 an hour in the '70s, that was like 70, 80 bucks. I mean, dumb, that was stupid, I'll admit it. 2-second story if I'm not out of time here. I just would blow my money, go out, buy a new car, or condo, and meet somebody. We just want to go to lunch. I did the stupidest thing in the world. One day I met a girl at the mall and see if she wanted to go to lunch, so we'll gotta go lunch early. So we went down Long Beach Airport and we went to San Francisco for lunch. But that's 21-year-old thinking, making so much money. But if you got double time and a half, you could be at 40 bucks an hour in the '70s, and that was just, and unfortunately they didn't, they went bye-bye, but
That's good.
it was good.
Hearing nothing from the floor, this is, and we're almost out right on time this afternoon. How did that happen? This
Well, he
is,
started
this is-
8 minutes late.
I know, I feel like we're cutting you short,
No, as long as I got all the questions, I didn't have all the.
and
Well,
let,
can I ask a question?
let's,
Sure.
yeah,
I won't cuss.
no.
Have you walked across the campus at Cerritos more than once?
Yeah, I actually came, they had, some of the stuff with the president here, and, Pancho Sanchez was just here a few months ago, and I got a nice invite to that, and I kinda come down and go to some of the stuff here to try to stay in touch, and
And you give me three adjectives that describe the campus for you.
let's see, memories.
Oh, memories?
Memories.
Not the girl with the flat top.
Let's see, what else? That's a good one there. Okay. 3 adjectives. Opportunity, I just, walking through here, now this sounds corny, I'm sorry, but this is what comes to mind. I'm walking through here, to come here, opportunity, take advantage of it, reminiscing, and, third thing I can't think of it. I'll just be honest
Give
with
me
you.
an adjective that describes the community.
I think there's a lot of camaraderie here, spirit, the Falcon spirit, and, came here, was at Home Depot one day and I cut over here or something, for some reason I ran into somebody I knew, and listening to the people talk, there was a lot of spirit, and none of this negative stuff, and, you go to some of the places. I did a job where I was out in the field one time, and nothing against Long Beach City, but it was just like all quiet, although I got a little group here, but it wasn't lively. It was, I kind of prided myself when you go to the center, there was a lot of talk, yakking going on and all that, and it seemed like a lot of spirit going on, so.
Yes, George.
We didn't get to this today, but we asked some people last time. What do you plan to do to win the election? What are the steps that you're taking? That's
Okay, right now, I'm in the midst, I'm going, that one I actually have a prepared answer for that, okay. Right now, I'm getting all my endorsements, I can get a zillion of those, but I don't think that's important. I'm doing financing, I'm gonna be having, volunteers, phone walking, media, basically I've done a lot of campaigns in the past in the local cities on stuff. I'll be bringing those resources in, and then looking for more volunteers for phone banking. My number one thing, I'm kind of copying somebody in this room, Mr. Greer, by the way. A lot of the print media and advertising and all that, you can have so much of it. Personally, I think it's that effective. took on the city and they spent $200,000, there's a write-up in the Press Telegram, when they were going to do this tax and put this tax on us. Mr. Dreyer and I, between both of us, spent $20. And we beat them. We beat them by 13 votes. They called for 4 different things. And what it was getting the neighbors that truly believed in our cause, that this tax was unfair, just going door to door to door to door, and personal relationship on one-on-one. I had so many cups of coffee, and I really don't drink coffee, it doesn't work well with me, but I had so many coffees on Sunday with the more mature ladies that it was not even funny, and they've become good friends, neighbors that I never had. So I truly believe that going door to door and getting people that believe the way I do to do that is the way to win. Yes.
So we have a lot of part-time faculty on campus, and so what kinds of things do you think the trustees can do to help quality of life for part-time faculty?
Well, first of all, I think even if they're part-time, they should get all the same benefits. The pay should be, the same or whatever, because they're working less hours. I know I have a relative works for a supermarket, and they're getting shafted because they get less hours and they get treated as second-class person, and I think that's outrageous. Hopefully, they're not that way here. I'm not saying it's that way, but hopefully they're treated with a lot of respect and they get paid. Well, then it shouldn't be that way, and I would love to try to, I'm one person, but I'd like to try to change that.
Yeah.
Because you're part-time doesn't mean you're second person. No, that's not right.
Mr. Gray.
Can you tell them all the campaigning you did in my 2012 campaign when I won almost 70%, and then when I went off here, beat the mayor's wife at 16, almost 62%. Can you tell me what you did on my campaign to help me win those 2 elections?
This guy had me phoning everybody, walking every street, seeing every neighbor. We did have flyers, passed them out. And then John in the past has helped us a lot on the water situation, so he's got a kind of little fan club, so I went out and recruited those people, made them get their butt out there, and we walked. And it still goes back to walking and greeting people and finding out what they want and what it would take. I think that's just the way I believe it's gonna win. That's the way I'm gonna run it.
I think we are at closing statement time then, and we will be happy to give you 3 minutes to say whatever else you would like us to know.
Well, hopefully I don't sound repetitious here. Anyway, I've got 45 years in the area. I would like the opportunity to use it. Kind of come out of nowhere, but after I thought about it, I really believe in all my heart I could make some change if I had the opportunity, and I was up there. As far as not being a former trustee or any of the stuff here on campus and all the wherewithal, the words and all that, as far as your budgets and all that, I'm a fast learner, and I would be willing to take the time for anybody that would want to show me, but I'd go and pull up the arm sleeves and get in there, jump in, and do whatever it would take. So that's kind of where I'm at there, and like I say, I think the teachers need opportunity, and so do the students, and part-timers do, by the way. So I think everybody should be treated fairly. So yes, sir.
What district are you running and against?
District number 4, and Marissa Perez, Miss Whitehouse, never mind. Don't throw in the politics in there, but I'm the Democrat, she's a Republican, so. And, I just want to run on that everybody counts and everybody should get a fair chance, so, and treated fairly and with a lot of respect, so. There's no reason why they shouldn't, so.
We thank you for your time today.
I'm sorry.